Hi, my name is Curtis Blackthorne, and I'm looking. Wait, that was the talk yesterday. Today, we are going to talk about who says DevOps is only for IT. So over the summer, I got married, went to Egypt for my honeymoon, and saw lots of stuff where Egyptology is starting to use kind of DevOps methodologies. I know when you guys think DevOps, you immediately think of a giant technology stack with way too many tools for every little thing you need to do. I'm sure you see at least 12 dozen things up there you use on a daily basis. So, DevOps, if you have known any of the history of DevOps, you know that kind of the origins of it come from factory work and kind of assembly lines. If you've read the Phoenix Project, that book that everybody seems to hold in such high regard, they walk over a factory and they see how they have work in progress. Kind of an advancement of that was the Toyota production systems of their lean manufacturing, where they would have consultants come in and tell factory workers, move these 20-ton machines so you could be more efficient using their DevOps practices. Even if you look at like F1 races, there's an excellent video on the internet that's over a minute long of them showing how pit crews have gone over the years from like the first F1s where a minute and 6 seconds goes by and they're like, that's the fastest we've ever seen, to like 50 people helping take off all the wheels in under a second. It's amazing when you start thinking of things like that. So I went to Egypt. I saw the pyramids. I saw lots of stuff. So of course, I think DevOps is my first thought I have when you see all of that built. So come with me on this adventure through all of the Egyptology and everything we learned while I was there. I mean, when you think Egyptology, you probably don't think that, but a lot of you probably think things like, you know what? Aliens. There was totally a TARDIS in there, and if you pay close attention, they have Wi-Fi, people. They have Wi-Fi. So while you're there, you see all these things, and you're learning the history of Egyptology and how that, Egyptologists are just this side of grave robbers. But right here, this is Howard Carter, and he did a very small thing. Howard Carter discovered the tomb of King Tut. The way he did that is kind of a very DevOps-y practice. So they put ropes around the area, and they have a grid line set up, and whenever anybody finds something, they pull an Ondon cable, stops all the work, and everybody comes to look to see what that person has found, to see if it's important, if they should learn from it, and if they should keep looking for similar things like that in the area. What that leads to is you find artifacts, and then you need to store those artifacts somewhere so that way human hands can't keep messing with them. I believe we like to do that for deployments. We like to keep our artifacts secure and make sure they last forever. And there's good ways to do that, and you want to do that because sometimes if your artifacts can be touched and tampered with, they can get damaged. And so what you see here is this black line, and this is where the Temple of Philae was flooded. So note that there are people that are like 5'10" going to this temple, and they moved the entire temple. They moved the entire temple about 100 meters. How do you move a temple of that size 100 meters? Well, you'll see this bolt here, and you might be able to see it says 186. That's the 186th bolt out of 40,000. They disassembled that temple into 40,000 pieces and had to keep track of all of the artifacts and put it back together. The company that does this is called UNESCO, and they specialize in going to ruins and temples and looking at how they can save them and move them so that way that they can last for generations. And it is insane the size of these things that you can see. And we've gone even further. There's now companies called Scan Pyramids that's out of the University of Cairo where they're starting to use real technology. They're using robots that can inflate with helium to go in the crevices of pyramids you can't see and find out what's in there, as well as using muon detectors to find gaps in the pyramids. And there's videos of them using HoloLens with AR maps as they're walking around in the pyramids and being able to see where they are and where they're wanting to go using technology. So this leads to one thing and one thing only, and that's VR fighting mummies. No. What you want to do here is, once again, you want to keep people's grubby little hands off the actual artifact. So you set up VR scans, and people can actually visit the pyramids and temples from the comfort of their own home and feel like they're there and not actually have to touch anything. And maybe you want to take something home. A lot of museums are now doing full scans that you can 3D print an artifact. And I don't know, guys, this seems a lot like being able to read the metadata of something, spit out an artifact, and SSH into a pyramid without ever opening it up. So once again, you guys, thank you for your time, and I know you probably don't think of DevOps outside of IT, but a lot of people probably also don't think about that the Sphinx has a tail and a butt. Thank you very much.
Great job, Curtis. All right, everybody get on Twitter.